Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie, and I hope you're all well. And thank you to everyone all my subscribers. Thank you so much, everyone who likes my videos, everyone who's joined, who's become a member, everyone who's sent me a super, everyone who's PayPal'd me or bought me a Ko-fi. Thank you so much. Now, I've just decided to make this video because, if you watch my channel regularly, you'll know not long ago I did a video about being careful of scammers, people who send you emails trying to get money or say, you've won so much money in a lottery, those are the most outlandish ones, but there are many scams that are really what's the word, plausible. You have to be so careful, if you don't get to hear about these scams. And I would say to you, question everything, every email you get. If you get an email, that says it's from the police or from a security watch company or, a neighborhood watch or anything, even if it looks official, if it's asking for money or any kind of details, please be ever so careful. Question everything. Phone up the organization and check that it's for real. And of course, a lot of scammers operate over the phone. They phone up, they start asking you about your computer, or there's all sorts of ways that they do it. So all I'm saying is just be extra careful. And that's what a lot of people commented on my last video. And I'd also like to point out as well, because they were so right, make sure anybody who's vulnerable, because it tends to be older people. It's not always older people, but they tend to be perhaps a little bit more gullible. They're not so tech savvy. They don't realize that there are people like this. They take people at face value. So sometimes people knock on their door. I would say, just don't answer the door. But if you've got a family that are maybe vulnerable and live alone, get them to try and get a door cam or something. I'm lucky I've got a spy hole at my door, and also you have to go down the steps to the gate anyway, so there's a separate gate, so somebody would have to come into my property to even get anywhere near to the front door, and quite often have that gate locked anyway, so they can't come in, and they can ring the door from the bottom there. But yeah, any precautions that you can think of for vulnerable people, this is very, very important. Keep an eye out for your neighbours who are maybe elderly, live alone. There's so many people that live alone these days, and people want to be independent as long as they can, don't they? Which is terrific. But yeah, sometimes, that people will knock on the door, offer to help even. I just don't open the door. I shout through. And as I say, I'm lucky as well. I've got a little patio, so I can actually go out onto the patio and look out onto the street and see who it is who's ringing the bell, or even at the door. Don't have to. The other thing they can do is then get you to open the door and then barge their way in, or come in on the pretext of checking a gas thing. And then while you go off into the other room, they steal things. It's unfortunate because you don't want to be suspicious of everybody. But really, you do have to be suspicious of everybody until proved wrong. So if you haven't arranged that appointment, obviously, if you've phoned up the gas board and asked them to come out, or if you've got some sort of official letter from the gas board, an ID as well, that's what you've got to remember. So yeah, lots of things to think about. Quite scam that's going on here now is you get a text from the post office. you know, saying you've got a package waiting for you, but you've got to pay. It's only a small amount. Thing is that they can do it with a small amount. You know, if it's, I can't remember how much it is, but let's say it's €5.90. You get 10 people to do that, that's €59. You get 100 people to do it, that's €590. So, you know, they're clever. These are literally organized police, or, you know, over the phone or text, etc., etc. Because here, these fake scam victims have lost £156,000 in total. It's just foul, isn't it? These people, nobody's got loads of money now. You know, nobody, well, I say nobody, some people have, obviously, but I don't expect King Charles gets scammed like this. But, you know, they're picking on vulnerable people who don't have much money to begin with. This makes me even more angry. You know, if you're going to sort of try and, I don't know, I mean, I'm not saying I advocate it in any way, but if you're going to scam somebody out of some money, you know, actually got some, not these poor people. What these people are doing, they're posing as police and ringing vulnerable people. And they, in total, this is in Lancashire, but as I say, bear in mind, wherever you live, if this happens, someone claiming to be from the police, phone your police station and check things first. Don't do from the police brigade, any of these official bodies. Make sure first. So apparently they've stolen more than £150,000 from vulnerable victims in a despicable scam, and this will be happening all over the world. So wherever you are, in Spanish. So I'm on some of the police websites, you know, on Twitter, etc., and you get their messages coming around. Watch out for this scam going. Watch out for that scam. They're saying that bogus officers with fake names and collar numbers are phoning their targets in East Lancashire and demanding they withdraw funds for safekeeping. So basically, you know, one thing, of course, all the officers are supposed to be on the website, aren't they? You know, and you'd say to them, well, which department are you in? Where can I find you online? Or you could ring up, you know, ask them what station they're based at and ring up to check. But to be honest, no police person is going to be ringing you and telling you to take money out of your bank account and give it them. That's just not going to happen. So they're ringing them, demanding they withdraw funds for safekeeping. So then they send couriers to pick up cash or valuables. And this is so irritating because, you know, yes, older people, they're the ones with the trust in the police, probably a lot of younger people who perhaps wouldn't have money in the bank as well, maybe. And older people, sometimes they don't have much money generally in their, you know, to spend, but they like to keep money in the bank, you know, for just in case. So these crooks then send the couriers to pick up their cash or valuables. So 2 women have been arrested. over a spate of deceptions, police said. So thefts have been reported in Darwin, Blackburn, Accrington and Oswestwhistle over the last month. All victims said that they were phoned by someone claiming to be a police officer. They said the caller told them their bank card had been used fraudulently, and that they needed to withdraw substantial amounts of cash and have it changed into euros. Good God. Anyway, just another thing I quite you do get messages sometimes that look so official. I get them about all sorts of things, and it's, oh, you must take action. They normally give you a link, don't they? Go onto this link and you must take action now, or you'll lose your Facebook account, or the blah, 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 blah. And that's how your Facebook accounts get hacked. Just don't press any links unless you know you've either asked for them, you know the person who sent it to you, or and even then, if you know the person, unless you've actually asked for it, I'd be wary of it. Anyway, devious actions. Victims have had £156,000 worth of cash or other items taken, and some of the fake names being used by the fraudsters include Detective Martin Rose, Detective Constable Brian Gosling, Detective Constable Hammer Long, and Detective Constable John Matthews. So they use these names that are sort of, how can I explain it, not too outlandish, I suppose, like sort of John Matthews. It just sounds official, doesn't it? So Lancashire police said a dozen cases had been confirmed, but officers believe there were other victims who may not even know that they've been scammed. So remember, this is in Lancashire particularly, and I thought I'm going to make this video because I know a lot of my viewers are in the Lancashire area that have come to me through the Nicola Bulley case. So a 26-year-old woman from West Bromwich and a 25-year-old woman from Hull. I mean, look how young they are. 20. Get a job, for fuck's sake. You know, don't go screwing money out of old people. Anyway, they were held on suspicion of fraud by false representation and have since been bailed. Detective Chief Inspector John Roy urged people to protect themselves from the despicable scammers and talk to loved ones about how the scams work. Yeah, so if you've got people in your family that are older and maybe not very tech savvy, etc., you know, explain to them about this this fraud so that they don't get sucked into it. So this, he added, this is a dedicated and detailed investigation into the devious actions of those willing to steal from some of the most vulnerable members of our community. Be a victim or may have information about the latest crimes is urged to call 101 or Action Fraud UK. So bearing in mind, wherever you are in the UK, you can ring 101 if you think you've been scammed, or even, you know, if you're not sure, maybe you didn't fall for it, but somebody tried to do it, you should report it, because that might save somebody else from being scammed. Because you know, I think it's sometimes, I know for me, it's difficult to understand that people do fall for these things. They do. And, you know, for various reasons, people, certainly older people, as soon as the police contact them, they'll be thinking, you know, oh, that's the police have said that, so it must be true. You know, and I know, I think we all know, whatever we might think or not think about the police are never going to ring anybody and ask them just like that and ask them to take money out and give it to them for safekeeping. You know, we know that, don't we, really? We know that our police might not be perfect, but they don't do things like that. So just a warning to everybody, any of you out there who maybe have had that happen to them, or certainly if you've got, just try not to get, not only you try not to get, you know, we don't want you, obviously I don't want any of my subscribers or viewers to be a victim of these people, but also in your wider circle, if there's anyone that you think might be likely to be a target because of their vulnerability, please let them be aware of this, that this can happen, because it's happened big time in Lancashire, but it will be happening everywhere, I'm sure. Okay, thank you. So remember not to get scammed. I will see you real soon in the next video. Until then, may your God go with you.